Charlie and Rebecca, you both had the same experience that I did when I took my level three, goodness, 10 years ago now. Okay. And that was I needed to resit my theory. It's never fun to fail anything, but I will say for me, it was a very humbling experience, perhaps what I needed, right? But I also learned a lot from that failure, and it helped me, I think, as a human to grow. That was good, but also to better prepare me for the exam when I went to take it again. I knew they always say you never know what you don't know until you know it. And then I figured out what I needed to know. So, my question to you guys, and Charlie, I'll start with you. Would you mind talking about how you prepared for your theory the first time and what you did differently the second time?
So the first time, there really wasn't as much emphasis on the theory because I had breezed through level one. I had literally breezed through level two. So I put a lot of time in the tasting. The first time around, I put a lot of time into tasting because it was a relatively new concept, and I figured that because I was so successful for my prior theory uh, and I like academics as well. To me, I understand it, and so what ended up happening was I ran out of time on the theory portion of it. I ran out of time short written answers, and no matter how well you do on the multiple choice, if you're leaving points on the table on the short written answers, if you leave them blank, you're not going to pass, and that's the sad reality that I encountered. So the second time around, I put a lot more emphasis on the short written answers, and I allocated a certain amount of time on the exam for the short written answers. So I knew, like, if you break up the exam into time segments, you,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you need a minimum of 90 minutes to successfully complete the short written answers and put less emphasis on the multiple choice.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. Just get the multiple choice out of the way. The answer's in front of you. You either know it or you don't. Like, just move
Yeah,
on, see if you get to the SWAs.
yeah, and the second time around, I put a lot more emphasis on making sure I understood those chapters, making sure I took detailed notes on those chapters, and then so it's not enough to know those chapters and just really know the facts of the chapters, but now you have to apply what you're learning in those chapters throughout the different regions. And I think that the short written answers really helped me a great deal as far as practicing the short written answers. Probably the best thing that I did, Jess, was decided to work with you, and you really were able to help me connect things on the specifications and
Mm-hmm.
really kind of helped me keep things focused and kept me structured on those short written answers. And just preparing for our sessions, just preparing the short written answers for our sessions, I learned a great deal both preparing and talking with you about
We were talking.
working through our questions. So to me it was night and day, and as incredibly funny as it sounds, I'm thankful for that failure.
Yeah, we learn from things. So, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So to unpack that, there was a couple of things. So the SWAs that you practiced, those were mostly from the level three skills and drills. Is that right? What was the
Yes.
online little package? Yeah, and that contains a handful, three full, not a handful, but three full practice exams. It has hundreds of short written answers that you can practice and self grade. So doing those, absolutely. You and I talked about the specification. I have one right here, right? But this little skinny green book is magic because it tells you everything that you need to know for the test. It's not the information, but it tells you all the topics, right? And so you and I spent some time with that. And then we also did our one on one mentoring sessions, which are available with pretty much all of our Napa Valley Wine Academy instructors. And the way you and I did this, because we didn't have to work on tasting, was I sent you some new short written answers that you hadn't seen before. And then you gave it a go. And then we came together and went through it. So it spurred that discussion as well. Those were some fun sessions, at least for me. So I enjoyed talking it out.
Absolutely. So,
Excellent.
same here.